Now that we're thinking about making contact with hiring managers and other people who can connect us to opportunities, this is where you can actually start to take action in this area. So start thinking about people in companies that you need to get in front of. So it's important that for your target organisations, are there people to do that piece of research and actually figure out, well, who is the person who would be potentially hiring me, who would I be working for, and is there a way that I can get a connection with that person? How would you find it's important to figure out, well, how are you going to find them? So what resources do you have at your disposal online? What connections do you have within your own network and your own contacts and your family? And when you do find them, what is it that you're going to say to them? So that can be obviously often the hardest part for people to kind of prepare themselves for that kind of meeting. So a good way to do this is to think about, well, if I was making a 90-second introduction to myself, or you know, people often call it your elevator pitch because it can be said in the time it takes to go between, you know, the first and the 10th floor. So it's basically something that is 90 seconds to 2 minutes. It's short, it's to the point, it doesn't sound learned off, but it's something that you're quite comfortable with, and that you know, people are very clear about what it is that you do. So here's an example of a structure that you can use, but you don't have to use this one. It's really important, I suppose, to tell your story. So the idea here is using the acronym CHEAP, C-H-E-A-P. And so, for example, you might say, well, currently I am, so that might be currently I'm just finishing up on a contract in such and such an organisation, or I'm just finishing my springboard degree, or whatever situation you're in at the moment. So that might be, even if you're not currently working or studying, you might say, well, I'm currently looking for new opportunities. So history might be, and I've just finished up, or previously I was in, I don't know, Intel or whatever employer, and maybe even 2 or 3 other relevant roles. But again, just briefly mentioning the organisations that you may have worked for in the past. Education, if it's relevant to you know, the role that you're looking for. And so I've just completed such and such a certification, and or I'm studying for you know, a master's or a FETAC level 6, whatever it might be, in your chosen area of expertise. And achievement sounds like something that, you know, you might not necessarily want to kind of almost brag about, and a lot of people really have difficulty with that. So what you might do with this one is say, you know, and you know, when I was working for whatever the company was, I got great experience doing, you know, whatever customer service, or implementing new systems, or whatever it might be. So it's actually talking about what you enjoyed, and what you know, the kind of experience that you gained and what you learned from that role, but not making it sound like bragging. It's just, I suppose, telling part of your story. And the most important thing is, at the end of that, is actually saying, well, what is your proposition? So what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you would like to ask of this person? Because obviously it's most important when you want something to ask for it, otherwise people don't really know necessarily how they can help you. So this might be, if you meet somebody at a networking event, you might say, well, you know, let me know, will you, you know, here's my contact details. If you hear of anything that might be suitable for me, will you let me know? Or it might be that you're asking someone, you know, would it be possible to meet you for a cup of coffee and just chat, get your advice on you know, people that you think that I need to speak to, or whatever. So that's the ask at the end of what it is that you're talking about. So it's really important to do that. And if you have this prepared in a very natural way, you won't be trying to figure out next time you meet somebody, what am I going to say here? So it becomes very comfortable, but also you can adapt it to different situations. So it means that you're, you know, you can, it's not always going to be exactly the same. You may tailor it depending on the context that you're in, as you get more comfortable with this type of situation.